In February 1996, the Dragon Ball fanbase was introduced to what is now considered the franchise's most controversial edition. Following the popular Dragon Ball Z series, Toei Animation premiered Dragon Ball GT on Fuji TV, leaving fans puzzled. The brand new anime had many fans cautiously optimistic before its release, but that hope dwindled by the end of the first episode. Today, there are fans who refuse to even mention the anime's name. And, if they do mention it, they only do so with contempt and channel their inner kaikai when it comes to yelling. Although Dragon Ball GT only aired for a year, the anime did significant harm to the franchise and its fandom. Some fans still rally behind the show as a fun-filled romp, but the overwhelming majority of viewers seem to dislike Dragon Ball GT as much as Broly hates Goku. At Nerd Titan, we're delving in and listing out 5 reasons why fans scorned the once anticipated series. What a waste of potential. First and foremost, fans look back on the show with anger because of its wasted potential. Dragon Ball GT was released when the franchise was still at its peak popularity thanks to Dragon Ball Z. As a sequel, the new anime had the potential to take the franchise in a whole new direction, but instead chose to regress it. The first arc of Dragon Ball GT is essentially a retelling of Dragon Ball. Goku, who has been turned into a child, embarks on an intergalactic mission with Pan and Trunks. Although the structure might have been tolerable, the arc's Black Star Dragon Ball premise left fans bored, and it even dared to resurrect one of the weakest villains from Dragon Ball Z. What a disappointment. A few episodes into the show, fans were talking less about its action-packed stories and more about its money-grubbing capitalization on memorable characters. With no new direction to go in, Dragon Ball GT floundered to create characters who were memorable or even likable to fans. None of the show's primary antagonists stood up to flavorful villains like Frieza or Cell. And, when the show attempted to better flesh out characters like Pan or even Bulla, their shallow characterization made them annoying to say at the least. Terrible fights were the least of Dragon Ball GT's concerns in the end because fans could not even bring themselves to care about the warriors waging onto the battlefield in the first place. The Goku Show, Dragon Ball GT failed to introduce any memorable characters to the franchise, so fans hoped the anime would at least do justice to its stars. Sadly, Goku and Vegeta were left hanging. Without even addressing the latter's mustache, Vegeta was often used for ill-timed jokes. As for Goku, the Saiyan had a slew of oddly paced storylines that gave fans whiplash. The first arc saw Goku inexplicably turned into a child, which left fans wondering where their beloved Z Fighter had gone. Then, as the series moves on, Goku becomes so important to the show that former characters like Krillin, Gohan, and even Vegeta are all but forgotten. As for S. Though it may seem like a trivial concern, fans of Dragon Ball were gobsmacked by Goku's new Super Saiyan transformation, and not in a good way. Since the franchise is so closely associated with the all-powerful state, fans were enraged to see the transformation messed with on a fundamental level. Super Saiyan 4 does strike a positive chord with some fans, but most were dismayed at its appish looks. The underwhelming state saw Goku tap into his Super Saiyan abilities and great ape heritage at the same time. The result gave the hero ringed eyes, pink fur, and a massive lack of gravity-defying blonde hair. The question of canon. If you are new to the Dragon Ball fandom, then you may have caught onto its obsession with canon. Akira Toriyama's long-running franchise has lots of moving parts, and fans have been known to squabble over what is considered official versus personal canon. When it comes to Dragon Ball GT, the series gets a hard no when it comes to canonicity. Toei Animation created the new anime without any input from Toriyama, and the creator has said he views the project as an unrelated aside of his overall timeline. Since the franchise's creator is willing to overlook the anime, fans see their anger as justified and have all but scrubbed Dragon Ball GT from their minds.
And if you're new here, subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this. Leave your like to help the channel more and more. A big hug and see you next time.